Shout out. Just getting some shares out here, and we will be starting very shortly. We'll just put out a couple shares onto the pages here. Hope y'all are having yourselves a fantastic evening. We're having some beautiful weather in the prairies. The grip of winter is finally going away, so that's really awesome. Just a couple more shares to get out here before we jump into it. Got just one more thing to do here for a share. We are going live. Actually just got some breaking news here that I'm going to add into our topics really quick. About 30 seconds here, folks, and we will be on going. All right, let's get into it.
You are watching Chaos Crypto News, the crypto news that you need to know.
What's cracking, everybody? Chaos Crypto News here. Hope you're all having a fantastic evening. Let's start out by discussing a little bit about what's going on. So first of all, I want to mention this is not financial advice. Always do your own research. Don't trust, verify. Got a little bit of Quantzilla news for the day. So there's been a new NFT collection launched, and it's a new token that has also been launched by the Quantzilla team. This one's called XR Players Lounge, and the new token is XRP Town, complete with a new and comprehensive Discord with gated NFT VIP chats for holders of different NFTs under the XRP Town umbrella, of which Qzilla is also under the XRP Town umbrella. We will feature many of the great features of Quantzilla, such as daily token drips for NFT holders and a liquidity pool farm, plus more. We also did an 84,000% run, similar to Quantzilla, which is pretty sweet. So, you know, some crazy stuff's happening, and things have been on sale over the last couple days. If you haven't noticed, folks, did you buy the dip? If you didn't, maybe now's still a good time because, you know, things are pumping. We're starting to move. But these are the NFTs here. There's some pretty cool stuff here. Some of them are rare, and there is 33% minted only, so you can still get in 10 XRP per mint, and you see what you get. Some of the rarer ones are obviously going to be going for a lot more. So you can see this one here. It's got the rare XRP moon there or whatever. It's going for 1,589 XRP. The holder's asking for that one. So, you know, from 10 XRP, there's definitely some gains to be made here in regards to that. Not just from selling the NFTs, of course, but like I said, because of the token drip. Now, we also have launched a new thing we talked about in the last episode, meme safe token escrow is live and thriving. So we just launched MemeSafe. It's the first smart AI escrow to give our Quantzilla AI escrow a new life, helping the entire XRPL secure their tokens. You can check it out at memesafe.online. And we'll just have a quick peek at the webpage here. Have a little look at what we got going on. You're secure, safe for meme coins. So we got Moon, we got XRPT, we got Qzilla, and we got XRP Apes. And the XRP Apes NFTs just dropped today, and it went absolutely bonkers, folks. So you can find more information here about jumping into this. If you were interested, if you are running a project, definitely check it out. It's something you want to look at. We are also applying for a Ripple grant for further development and expansion of services related to the MemeSafe. Now, also don't forget to hit that rocket on deck screener every day for both Qzilla and XRPT, as well as the other MemeSafe projects, of course. And if you haven't jumped in yet, you can find all the information you need, all the links and everything at quantzilla.online, www.quantzilla.online. You can find the links there for joining our Telegram. You can link to XRPT through there. You also get paid to raid for both projects. You can also verify our coin addresses there, read our white papers, check out our Bullion NFTs as well, the real world asset tokenized NFTs that we have for silver coins. And also, we do have impersonators, so do double check the coin addresses and contract addresses before buying anything. Also, check out my YouTube for crypto games content, some scam investigations, XCC and Cardano deep dives, interviews, more news segments, and a whole lot more. Find me at KhaosDubz. There is links in the description below on the YouTube that may benefit you, such as a link to a awesome cold wallet and some exchange links. And also don't forget to hit that like, share, subscribe, and follow. With that being said, let's jump into it. We've got a lot to talk about today. So this is the breaking news that I was just given here as I started this episode. So check this out here. XDC Network continues to expand its ecosystem with the launch of XDC Cash, a next-gen crypto payment solution powered by Encryptus. XDC holders can now seamlessly convert their tokens to local currencies and alternative payment methods in 100 plus countries. This is a major leap forward to real-world adoption and financial inclusion. You can dive into the full details here at Bazinga, I guess. And there's another post here. So bringing ISO 20022 messaging to blockchain with XDC payments, we're excited to showcase how financial institutions can now send and receive ISO 20022 messages with real-time settlement powered by the XDC network. You can watch the full demo here at this link. I don't have the link to post up for you there, as I just got this as I was starting the episode, like I said. But in this quick demo, apparently you'll see secure message transfer between two entities, blockchain commitment and proof of acknowledgements, instant token-based settlement using XCC, and escrow-based confirmation, and 2 and 3 second block finality. Whether you're a bank, fintech, enterprise, or exploring next-gen financial messaging, this is a game changer for cross-border payments and real-time settlement infrastructure. XDC, XRP, and XLM, folks, that is the future. We're seriously, that's like, what's happening here. So if you're not holding XCC, XLM, and XRP, then I don't know what you're doing with your life, because this is the new financial system. This is what's going on. And I mean, this is where we're headed. So definitely not financial advice, but get in on some of that stuff. XDC is probably, in my opinion, and the opinion of many others, going to outperform XRP in its gains, because it's 10 cents right now or something. So, it's projected to go up to, hundreds or thousands of dollars, whereas XRP is projected to go up to, $10,000. But the gains from where we're at now with XDC compared to XRP to where they're projected to go could be astronomical. So definitely have a look at that. XDC can be found on some exchanges that are maybe not your main exchanges. One is CoinX that has it, for example. They're trying to make it hard to get these tokens for a reason. It makes you wonder why. Anyways, let's move on. We got a lot to cover. We talked about this already. All right, so Ukraine war profiteers get 13 years in prison for $7.3 million crypto money laundering. Valery Popovich, 52, and Vitaly Lutask, 43, were both convicted in Wood Green Crown Court on Monday, April 7th, after a 5-week trial. The gang members were sentenced to a combined 13 years in jail for laundering more than 6 million euros or 7.6 million US dollars. A third member and Valeri's wife, Oksana Popovich, 42, is due to be sentenced on Friday, May 30th. In February, a fourth person, Seaman Kuzov, was sentenced to more than 5 years in prison. Kuzkov controlled part of the laundered cash. The crypto was attained by exploiting the demand in Ukraine for vans and lorries as part of the war effort. These were bought using criminal money. During the investigation, the UK police found over $14 million in crypto passed through crypto wallets stored on a computer. Now, Argentina approves investigation into the Libra meme coin scandal tied to President Milei. We've talked about this in some past episodes, and it's an ongoing battle, an ongoing story that's unfolding here. So, the Chamber of Deputies of Argentina has passed 3 bills to create a special commission on Libra meme coin fraud. The case has exerted pressure on President Javier Milei's administration since February to come clean about the reality. The allegations arose from a claim that President Milei endorsed the social media trading of the Libra token, causing its prices to rise. After Milei's post on X, the token rose from 0.000001 cent to $5.20 in just under 40 minutes, touching on a $4 billion market cap. Subsequently, the token's creator, who possessed 70% of the total tokens, dumped them. This saw the coin's price drop by more than 94% to about 99 cents. Traders accused Milei of promoting a pump and dump scheme, which he vehemently denied after deleting the promotional posts. The blockchain firm Bubble Maps exposes some of the links between the Libra creators and previous pump and dump schemes. The report noted that stolen funds were distributed to other wallets associated with the other scandalous coins, including Melania. Interesting, isn't it? As per CoinGecko, Libra led to the erasure of $26 billion in the meme coin market, hitting meme platforms like Pump.fun. Some international law firms, including Burbick Law, have started instituting legal proceedings by filing class action lawsuits for the international investors who Libra defrauded. Let me know in the comments what you think about that. Do you think the president here is involved, or do you think, maybe he's not involved, or do you think it's all just manipulation? The FBI has busted a $24 million dark web crypto laundering operation. Crazy, crazy stuff, folks. After a long undercover investigation, the FBI identified a massive dark web money laundering network. The Bureau arrested its founder, Anurag Pramod Muraka, a year ago, but kept running the business to identify clients. This allowed the FBI to make subsequent arrests as Muraka laundered funds from drug traffickers, crypto hackers, and more. Still, its methods attracted criticism about government overreach. After the Bybit hack, which is the largest theft in crypto history, the perpetrators successfully laundered all the stolen funds. This dramatic incident highlighted a growing concern in the community as criminal operations can launder huge volumes of money. The Bureau made a significant progress in identifying Muraka by using his cash mules as confidential informants. Soon after, it escalated to more invasive methods. For example, the FBI sent a few YouTube videos with low view counts to Elon Musk WHM via Telegram, then asked Google to turn over data on everyone who watched these videos. Scary stuff, folks. We live in a police state. Muraka laundered more than $24 million over the dark web in less than 2 years. For these crimes, he was sentenced to 121 months in prison. Although the FBI was able to arrest several more clients of Muraka's dark web money laundering operation, its methods also attracted criticism. Additionally, the Department of Justice announced yesterday it's planning to cease enforcement actions and active investigations against crypto exchanges, wallets, and tumblers. Although the DOJ claims it will still pursue criminals, this would shut off long-term sting operations like the one that tracked Elon Musk WHM. Interesting stuff that's unfolding, folks, right in front of our eyes here. The financial system's collapsing. The largest wealth transfer in history is happening, and the world is changing on a grand scale. Crypto users have been targeted in a SourceForge malware attack via fake Microsoft Office softwares. Scary stuff, scary stuff. Cybercriminals are targeting crypto users by exploiting SourceForge, a well-known open source software platform. Malicious attackers uploaded fake Microsoft Office installers packed with hidden malware, including crypto miners and clipboard hijackers, to deceive unsuspecting users. They noted that while SourceForge project pages appeared legitimate, the danger lies in their auto-generated subdomains. In one instance, Russia's Yandex search engine indexed a fake domain, leading unsuspecting users to a page filled with counterfeit Office tools and download buttons. And you can see here, officepackage.sourceforge.io. That was the sketchy link. More than 4,600 incidents were recorded in the first quarter of 2025, with 90% of the affected users in Russia. It was unclear if this attack had led to significant financial losses for crypto users. The trap begins with a small archive file named vinstaller.zip, only around 7 megabytes. But this is suspicious to people who are, obvious, or in the know, I should say, because as genuine Office software is significantly larger, even when compressed. However, once the file is unzipped, it balloons into a 700 megabyte installer packed with hidden scripts, and these scripts silently fetch additional files from GitHub and scan the system for antivirus tools. That's always something to pay attention to when you're downloading any kind of executable file. If you're expecting a program to be a certain size, make sure that what you're downloading is about that size. You know what I mean? It's not like, you get something that's 250 megabytes, but it's like 7 megabytes, but it says it's the same thing. It's something sketchy going on there, right? Always pay attention to what you're doing, folks. Links can super screw you over. I think it's about all we have to talk about here. Let's move on to the next one. Hawk Tuah girls back in the news, folks. Hawk Tuah podcast returns with KSI as first guest following the past crypto controversies of both parties. Hawk Tuah girl resurfaced this week with the revival of her Talk Tuah podcast, marking the first episode since December 2024. Welch has been lying low since the launch and rapid implosion of a meme token bearing her nickname. The December launch of the Solana-based Hawk token, which she promoted, soared to a $490 million market cap before plummeting 93% in minutes. The collapse triggered widespread backlash and led Welch to deactivate her social media accounts briefly, and a February podcast episode was quietly published and just as quickly deleted. KSI has also had his, rounds of crypto controversies as well, so interesting stuff here. Wonder what's going to happen. I don't know why they make stupid people famous, but here we are. Now, Pi Network's a scam, as I've been saying, folks, but it's all unfolding as expected. Major warning for Pi Network price. Here's what can trigger a new Pi crash. Nothing's free, folks. Nothing's free. You got to think. You can't just expect these. When something sounds too good to be true, it usually fucking is. Don't get fleeced by these people. Pi Network's native token plummeted to an all-time low of under 40 cents on April 5th. Just a day later, though, it spiked substantially to almost 75 cents before retracing to the current 57 cents as the broader crypto market slumped at the start of the week. Now, remember, just before Pi Network launched mainnet, people were saying it was trading at $64 on the IOU and then 80-something dollars on the IOU, and it was going to go to $300, and this is insanity. This is nonsense. But one important factor suggesting a further plunge in the short term is the scheduled unlock of tokens. Data shows that almost 1.5 million Pi tokens are about to be released today, which is April 8th, so it's a couple days old here. But the total number of tokens unlocked throughout the ongoing month will be over 160 million, worth approximately $92 million at current rates. In addition to the scheduled unlocks, industry participants have supposedly moved 2 million tokens to exchanges in the past 24 hours. Such actions indicate an upcoming cash out, which may amplify selling pressure and drag down Pi's valuation. One X user recently told his over 80,000 followers that Pi's huge decline in the past month resembles more a dump than a dip. They also asked if the price will first reach 31.4 cents or $3.14 rather than, $314. Several months ago, some optimists assumed that the price could one day skyrocket to $340. It's worth mentioning that such a high valuation would require the asset's market cap to explode into multi-trillion-dollar territory, making the forecast highly implausible and even ridiculous. But hey, as I always say, market cap is an illusion and price is a distraction, folks. Fake NVIDIA and Hedera partnership news sends HBAR's market cap up to $2 billion. Now, this is also a couple of days old here, but we're going to go over it anyway because I feel like it's important. Following what turned out to be fake news of a partnership between Hedera and NVIDIA, HBAR, the native asset of Hedera Network and a top 20 crypto by market cap, experienced an over 30% price surge, with the price peaking on April 8th. Starting yesterday, which would have been April 7th, I guess, after dipping sharply to 12.5 cents, basically, the price of HBAR rallied to just over 16 cents, while its market cap grew to $2 billion, increasing from $5.3 billion to near $7 billion. Bullish news for HBAR, but crazy stuff that, fake news can move the markets. This is called market manipulation, folks. Pay attention to what's going on. Now, this is one for those of you who are watching from Canada. Obviously, as many of you know, I'm Canadian, and the Quanzilla team is Canadian as well. Traders 73% less confident of Canada getting a pro-Bitcoin PM. Now, I'm going to just preface this by saying the polls that are being funded by the Liberals and not, I should say, entered by the people who are voting Conservative, because, they generally don't have time or don't answer the calls for the polls or what have you. The polls are only polling like 2,000 people at a time, and the polls are saying something crazy. But this is a little bit different because this is essentially people betting on who's going to win, but I think it's still being kind of skewed by what the polls, who again are only polling a very small percentage of biased groups of people, are saying. But anyways, let's dig into this here. Binary options gambling website Polymarket is facilitating crypto-denominated bets at a dismal 25% odds rate that Pierre Poilievre will become Canada's next Prime Minister on April 28th. That's a stark 73% decline from the pro-Bitcoin candidate's 93% odds rate just 3 months ago. Donald Trump is largely responsible for the swap in the race's odds. Trump tactically endorsed Mark Carney, who's a clown, by the way. Our parliament in Canada is a circus. Like, it just makes sense that, people who don't understand what's going on would want to, make someone like a Carney, like, a ride operator like a Carney, or people that play the games that are like, Carney games that are like not legitimate. They're always, rigged. Our prime minister, it just makes sense, right? Because everything's a circus anyways. It's hilarious. If you ever watch Canadian Parliament, if you're living in the US, definitely check out some of the Parliament. It's just a joke. Parliament's prorogued currently. But, if you look back on some of the videos from some people, like, for example, Mr. Sunshine Baby does a bunch of them and stuff on YouTube, you'll see it's so hilarious compared to the US, which is like actually a lot more serious about stuff. But anyways, he's largely responsible for this swap in the race's odds because he endorsed Mark Carney, telling viewers that it's easier to deal with him versus Poilievre. He added that the conservative Poilievre that's running is stupidly no friend of mine, who has said negative things, apparently. This is what Trump said, right? So it's funny because this is all bud and propaganda. Carney is the one that Trump wants because Carney is a WEF puppet and Carney can easily be manipulated. We'll get into this a little bit more as we go here. But Trump's saying here that Poilievre is no friend of mine and blah, blah. This is all red herring, in my opinion. It's making you look over there while something else is actually going on. Trump is quite intelligent, in my opinion, and he knows exactly what he's doing and he knows exactly what he's saying. He's not a stupid man. He's doing this on purpose to enact a response from people. So pay attention to maybe not what they're saying, but it's what they're not saying. It's called ambiguous inference, folks. So once trading at 12% on this binary options gambling website where they're gambling basically on who's going to win the election, right? When Poilievre was trading at 93%, Carney has now advanced to a 76% rate among Polymarket gamblers. Holders of these binary call options will make money if Carney wins re-election as Canada's Prime Minister. Now, it's not re-election. He got put in this position of power, like, illegitimately, right? Trudeau stepped down. Carney was already one of his, cronies or whatever. It's like all the same cabinet ministers, mostly like 80% the same cabinet ministers. And now gas prices have fallen dramatically, like a huge amount. It was like $1.60 Canadian per liter. So it's like, 1632, so $7 a gallon roughly US, and now we're at like $1.20 a liter, which is $4.80 a gallon Canadian. So I don't know if you want to do the math for that. I'm just trying to do quick math in my head here, but it's dropped quite significantly over the last few days here because the Liberals are trying to get reelected here. So Like most two-party political elections, all third-party candidates have a low single-digit chance of becoming prime minister. So that's like your Jagmeet Singhs of the NDP and, the Green Party and the People's Party of Canada. They really don't have a chance. It's two wings of the same bird, as a lot of people like to say. You got two choices, and neither of them are maybe the best for everybody. But there's definitely some things that you just can't ignore coming into this next election. Now, as leader of Canada's Conservative Party, Poilievre has proposed using digital assets like Bitcoin and Ethereum to decentralize the nation. Through blockchain technologies, he wants to give Canadians a supposed alternative to central banking. Bitcoin Magazine's David Bailey, Coinbase's Brian Armstrong, MicroStrategy's Michael Saylor, Bull Bitcoin's Francis Pouliot, Galaxy Research's Alex Thorne, and various other Bitcoin influencers have endorsed Poilievre. Poilievre is the right candidate. He's going to allow us property rights. He's going to allow less taxes. He's going to allow less overinflated immigration, only enough where we can balance it with our medical system, with the amount of housing that we can output. Right now, our market is in such turmoil. It is absolutely ridiculous. Canada is in trouble, folks. Poilievre has also accused the Bank of Canada of ruining the Canadian dollar by creating $400 billion out of thin air. Carney has countered. This is ridiculous, folks. Carney has countered this by supporting a central bank digital currency. Trump is vehemently against any CBDCs, which is super important. But Carney, being a WF puppet, and Carney was actually also part of the Bank of England for some fucking reason. He's the only person outside of someone who's from the UK that's ever been part of the Bank of England. He's the only person ever been part of that. That's fucking fucked up. And people in England are like, we don't want him. You can have him back, Canada. He's supporting a central bank digital currency, calling it the most likely future of money. Carney has previously worked for Goldman Sachs and defended Brookfield's asset management use of offshore tax shelters. Oh my God, this is ridiculous. You know what else, folks? Carney didn't even live in Canada. I don't even think he does still. I'm not exactly 100% sure, but he was living outside of Canada. He moved his business to the States, and he just came back to Canada to take over the position as prime minister. And there's news articles talking about that Carney was elected as prime minister. He wasn't elected. He was voted in through the cabinet or whatever, but Parliament's prorogued. Like it's such a joke. If you don't know anything about Canadian politics and you're from the States, have a look at it. You're going to laugh. It's literally like a bunch of fucking clowns in a circus. It's it's a joke. It's a total joke. It's so funny. Canada's a joke on the world stage. We need someone who can actually take the power back and give power back to Canadians. Because right now, Canadians are suffering and struggling. In the US, it's not completely impossible to buy a house. You know what I mean? You can, work a job, have a house, have a family. Right now, anybody that's, under 30 or 35 is essentially never going to be able to own a house in Canada. It's impossible. And this is due to a whole bunch of stuff because our real estate market has a bunch of people from other countries that don't even live here. They come here, they buy a bunch of property, then they move back to their country. And literally, I know several people that have landlords that don't live in this country. They live in other countries. It's ridiculous. So all the properties being bought up by people in other countries. We don't have any gold, apparently. And it's getting ridiculous, folks. Not going to spend too much more time on this. Let's move on. But Canada's in trouble. And, we need help, folks. If you are Canadian, vote Conservative. Pierre Poilievre is the way to go. Ross Ulbricht to speak at Bitcoin conference in first public appearance since Trump's pardon. Ross Ulbricht is a founder of Silk Road. He's one of the early people in the cryptocurrency space based on the dark web, I guess, if you're familiar with that, folks. The news announced by Ulbricht on X on April 10th follows a presidential pardon by Donald Trump in January that saw the end of his incarceration, which is kind of crazy. He must be so grateful for that. Trump granted Ulbricht a full and unconditional pardon, citing support from the libertarian movement and calling the sentence ridiculous. And I would have to agree. Let me know what you think in the comments. Was that sentence warranted? Was it ridiculous? Or, should he still be in jail? I don't think so, In 2023, the FBI arrested Ulbricht in a San Francisco library. It also seized 173,991 bitcoins worth over $33 million at the time in the connection with the site. Now, I wonder what 173,991 bitcoins is worth today. So probably a lot. I'm not going to do the math for you right now, but damn. Ulbricht spent over 11 years behind bars after being convicted in 2015 on a laundry list of charges related to the creation and running of Silk Road. Now, among the charges were charges of narcotics trafficking, money laundering, and computer hacking. He received 2 life sentences, plus 40 years with no chance of parole. But he wasn't actually selling the drugs, which is crazy. Federal prosecutors also alleged Albrecht paid hundreds of thousands of dollars in murder-for-hire services, targeting people, threatening to reveal the workings behind Silk Road, although no killings actually occurred. The charges related to that, though, were eventually dropped before trial. What a crazy situation. It's nice to see that he's free, and, I highly doubt he's going to be dabbling in that dark web sphere again, personally, especially after spending 11 years in prison. But, I mean, I think it's just silly that he got charged with a bunch of stuff that, narcotics trafficking, money laundering, and computer hacking. Well, maybe he was doing money laundering and computer hacking. Okay, sure. But he wasn't the one trafficking the narcotics, but he got pinned with the people that were selling the stuff on the website that he facilitated. Kind of nuts. Some Fartcoin news for y'all. Fartcoin flips major meme coins, targets $1 billion market cap again. Fartcoin's recent price action is particularly intriguing due to its ability to surpass well-established meme coins that have been around for much longer. It has recently overtaken popular coins like Flocky, Dog with Hat, Cheems, and even Pudgy Penguins in terms of market cap. This is a remarkable feat in the competitive world of meme coins where many projects struggle to maintain sustained attention. Looking ahead, analysts predict the asset could see another 200% increase from its current price levels, potentially offering a 2x return on investment. For those considering an early entry into the market, understanding key price levels is essential. And if you weren't paying attention, around Christmas, Fartcoin hit $1 billion market cap, and then shortly thereafter hit a $2 billion market cap as it went well over $1. I think it hit $2.40 something cents very quickly, and then obviously dropped down back to under $1. So kind of crazy stuff there. With its current momentum, the asset could easily approach the $1 mark, making it an attainable target considering the recent surge and growing interest in the coin. Fartcoin's success is not solely based on its price action. Its ecosystem and tokenomics also play a critical role in sustaining its growth. The project's strong community and active engagement in meme coin culture have been key drivers in its rise to prominence. Additionally, Fartcoin has benefited from the broader meme coin trend where certain projects see explosive growth driven by social media buzz and community involvement. As more retail investors join the market, the demand for meme coins like Fartcoin is likely to increase, which could further propel its price upwards. Let me know in the comments. Are you holding Fartcoin? Are you into meme coins? Or are you more of a, strategic trader that doesn't like to gamble as much? Because, a lot of these meme coins are definitely a gamble. You got to find meme coins that have utility. Again, I'm going to plug Quanzilla. Quanzilla has utility. We got NFT drip daily, token drips to NFT holders drip daily, I should say, as well as XRP Town. We're doing the same thing there. We have tokenized real world assets. We're offering a whole bunch of other back-end stuff like the meme safe I was talking about earlier, which escrows tokens for, not only meme projects, but projects in general. All of this leads to super solid projects that are essentially rug-proof. Ripple to spend $1.25 billion acquiring prime broker Hidden Road. Blockchain payments firm Ripple is announcing its planned acquisition of global prime broker Hidden Road for $1.25 billion, marking one of the largest transactions in crypto history. If that isn't bullish, I don't know what is, folks. The deal positions the San Francisco-based crypto company as the first to own a multi-asset prime brokerage, which processes over $3 trillion annually for more than 300 institutional clients. Here's what Brad Garlinghouse had to say of the deal. We are at an inflection point for the next phase of digital asset adoption. The U.S. market is effectively open for the first time due to the regulatory overhang of the former SEC coming to an end, and the market is maturing to address the needs of traditional finance. With these tailwinds, we are continuing to pursue opportunities to massively transform the space, leveraging our position and the strengths of XRP to accelerate our business and enhance our current solutions and technology. Exciting stuff. Also, we do have a new chair of the SEC, and that is official. And it's Paul Atkins, folks. So that's pretty cool stuff. He's crypto friendly, by the way. First ever XRP ETF goes live on the New York Stock Exchange. Let's check it out. The Tsucurium 2x long daily XRP ETF with the ticker XXRP started trading on the New York Stock Exchange ARCA exchange on April 8th. This marks an important moment as it's the first ETF in the US tied to XRP. The XXRP ETF is a 2x leveraged fund, meaning it tries to double the daily price movement of XRP. This can lead to higher gains, but also bigger risks because XRP is known for its price volatility. Yes, I mean, most cryptos and, not even just cryptos, but like, other stocks as well. But cryptos specifically are known for volatility. That's the whole fun of it. That's what leverage trading is all about, right? An ETF is for somebody who doesn't want to have any exposure or understanding of wallets, of seed phrases, of cryptography, of security, of being your own bank, of self-custody, of any of that stuff, right? But if you are into that kind of stuff, I mean, 2x is like hilarious, right? Because like when you start leverage trading, some platforms allow up to 100 plus x leverage, 120x leverage in some cases. Whereas like futures markets, or sorry, not futures markets, I should say, Forex trading markets are way less volatile. Generally other currencies around the world that are not cryptocurrencies, but like countries' currencies, they generally don't move a whole lot, right? So like they have up to 500x leverage on a lot of their Forex exchanges because like you can't trade them otherwise. It's fucking boring, right? So use 500x leverage to actually make some movements here. But like if you put, 2x leverage on crypto, okay, great. It's still kind of boring in my opinion. It's when you start getting into 10, 20, 50, 100x leverage where things can get really interesting. You'll get rugged super fast if you don't know what you're doing, right? You're probably going to lose all your money if you try leverage trading, but it's something interesting to note because they're saying, it's leads to higher gains with 2x, but I mean really with 10x leverage, which is, I see a lot of people trading on average 5 to 10x. That's a lot more bang for your buck, especially with the volatility, but it's also a lot more risk. Anyways, moving on here. Techurium's XXRP is part of a larger trend where more investors are looking for ways to gain exposure to crypto like XRP without actually buying and managing the coins themselves, just like I mentioned there. So people don't want to, try to learn something because they're either lazy or too preoccupied with other stuff or whatever the reasons being. But in my opinion, the future of, liberty and sovereignty and freedom is essentially being your own bank and having custody of your own finances. You don't have to answer to somebody else. Moving on. Why isn't XRP skyrocketing? An expert explains the hidden forces. XRP's prices dipped below $2 for the first time since December 2024 on Monday, even after a number of positive developments for the crypto. And as you guys have seen, I'm sure on the charts, we've had some rough couple of days here as it goes up and down and up and down. But this is the volatility that can make you some money if you know what you're doing, right? If you have a good risk tolerance and you're careful about what you're doing, you can definitely make some money. It's pretty cool, but you can also lose it. But always buy the dip. If you're not buying these dips and taking advantage of these drops and it's freaking you out and you're selling on the red days, you're trading completely wrong, right? You want to buy the red candles. You want to buy the blood in the streets. You want to buy the fear and you want to sell the euphoria when everyone's super happy and, we're going higher, we're going higher. When the sentiment is like super, super bullish and everyone's super excited, that's probably a good time to take some profits. Maybe don't sell everything, but, take some profits and wait for another dip. The decline is surprising to many investors who had hoped recent good news would send its value higher. Market analyst Vincent Van Code attributes this underperformance to underlying economic issues and not with XRP itself. Aha, exactly. There's no problem with XRP, folks. Van Code attributes the recent decline in cryptos to the tariffs imposed by U.S. President Donald Trump on other nations. The tariff situation is just a power play to utilize economic pressure to get better negotiating terms, said Van Code. He expects these trade tensions to be short-term and perhaps pave the way for the market to rebound in the near future. Even after falling to $1.64 on April 7th, and pretty sure we went back around that yesterday, if I'm not mistaken, has shown a rebound by increasing to $1.82, and I think we're trading about $1.90 or right around $2 last I checked before I started this. Van Code pointed out that Ripple and XRP's fundamental strengths have not changed. They're 100 times better than a year ago when the SEC lawsuit was at its peak, he said. And he is correct. We're only getting more clarity, more strength, more diversity, and more applications of XRP in the real world, folks. It is a super, super exciting time to be alive. XRP to $12.50. Standard Chartered issues epic price prediction. British multinational bank Standard Chartered now predicts that XRP could hit $12.50 by the end of 2028 in what could be a historic run for the digital asset. I think that is extremely, extremely conservative as far as price predictions go, personally. Jeffrey Kendrick, the bank's global head of digital assets research, issued a detailed price projection that envisions XRP rising to $5.50 in 2024, which I think is, again, super, super conservative. I think we're going to definitely do more than that just in 2024, never mind beyond. $8 in 2026, $10.40 in 2027, and ultimately $12.50 by the end of 2028. This trajectory suggests a more than 500% increase over the next 3 years. Standard Chartered also predicts that XRP could overtake Ethereum in market cap. Now, I'm not sure if this bank has any idea about crypto or literally fucking anything, because when I read this, it just doesn't jive with my experience in the crypto markets, right? I've been in crypto for a long time. I started in 2014, but I got really serious about it in about 2017. And like, crypto goes in cycles. I mean, yes, Bitcoin's the king and all this, right? So everything kind of follows Bitcoin. Correlation is not necessarily causation, but Bitcoin goes in the 4-year cycles. So like, we're in the bull cycle now, right? The last one was 2021, and then the one previous to that was 2017, and then there's like, a long time of a bear market. So the fact that this guy thinks that it's going to continue to rise in this structure each year, I'm not so sure about. But I digress, because, once we're in a utility bull run, all the fundamentals and all the, technical analysis and all the stuff that people usually rely on goes out the fucking window, right? Because utility trumps everything. As soon as all that money starts onboarding for, RWA tokenization for, literally everything, and all the country's borders literally being broken by transferring using XRP, 3-second transfers anywhere in the world for like less than a fraction of a cent. So like, that's going to not only save corporations and everything billions of dollars, but it's going to save countries money. It's going to save people time, stress, headaches. It's going to be way, way, way better. As soon as people realize what's actually going on, and Ripple's had all these payment layers and rails in place for like 10, 11 years already, which is crazy. A lot of people don't know this. But once people realize what's actually going on here, all that money is going to onboard onto the XRP ledger. I mean, it's amazing to think about what can happen. XRP was designed to be $10,000. It's absolutely unbelievable, right? And people say, oh, it's FUD and market cap and blah, blah, blah. Market cap's an illusion. Price is a distraction, folks. Know what you hold. This is like world changing. There is no other companies working on back-end banking innovation. It's like literally not a thing. There's no competition. There's no way that a government is going to create a CBDC in, a couple of years when XRP and Ripple has been around for so long already, and it's proved its solidity, it's proved its validity, and it's consistently working every day. I don't think there's anything else to talk about here on this article. But I guess I missed this last sentence here, but this trajectory suggests a more than 500% increase over the next 3 years. Standard Chartered also predicts that XRP could overtake Ethereum in market cap. XRP is absolutely going to overtake Ethereum in market cap. I've seen so much news. I didn't want to cram too much into this episode today. I was going to cram a little bit more, but whatever. The point is, there's been several articles I've seen preparing this that Ethereum is in bad shape. People are selling at losses. People are selling out huge amounts. People are getting shook out of Ethereum, and for good reason too, I think. Ethereum's taken a long time to adapt when XRP hasn't necessarily had to adapt. It's always been what it is, and now it's just adding more features to it, because why not? But it's already doing the thing that it's been doing for 10 plus years. Moving on. XRP, here's some FUD for you. XRP price risks drop to $1 as retail momentum fades. Interesting. According to analysts at Glassnode, on-chain data suggests the Ripple token could face a new downside action as recent retail-driven momentum fades. XRP trades at around $1.90, but if retail panics and exits amid fresh sell-off pressure, Glassnode highlights a potential slump. FUD. Is XRP set for a retest of $1? I mean, it's changing hands around $1.90, revisited lows of $1.67 roughly. Bulls are attempting to break above $2, which could be crucial for new momentum, but with XRP down 30% in the last month, it's sporting a significant pullback that could accelerate with negative tariff news. Oh yeah, did I mention that Trump has paused all the tariffs for all the other countries for another 90 days except for China? There's like 104% tariffs on China, which is absolutely fucking insane right now. And apparently, what I've heard is because China is actually one of the world's top automakers. They surpassed Tesla in electric vehicle manufacturing, and the U.S. is trying to suppress it. And these tariffs are obviously going to make that a lot harder for people to buy into that. But it's cars that I've never heard of. I don't have any off the top of my head. I can't remember, unfortunately, at the moment. But definitely some crazy stuff going on. I really don't think that XRP is going to hit $1 again, ever. I don't think it's going to go below $1 ever. But you never know. I mean, crazier things have happened. All I'm saying is I'm not butthurt. I'm not worried about it. If it does, I'm just going to be stacking more XRP into my bags at a super fire sale. Let's move on. Ripple versus SEC saga takes a new turn as mysterious petition clouds legal finale. This is such a fucking drawn out, long, bullshit, fake court case, folks. Like, I just can't believe we're still talking about this. You know what I mean? A peculiar twist has emerged in the culmination of a landmark legal tissue betwixt Ripple America and America's financial watchdog, mere days after CEO Brad Garlinghouse heralded its resolution. It's an extraordinary development. The case docket witnessed an unprecedented intervention from Justin W. Keener, who lodged an emergency petition citing possession of what he terms decisive evidence. His mysterious submission alludes to a collection of physical investment contracts, though the precise nature and significance of these documents remain shrouded in ambiguity. The SEC has petitioned Judge Annalisa Torres summarily dismiss the impromptu filing, maintaining that the proceedings have reached their natural conclusion and Keener's submission lacks proper legal foundation. I mean, they have reached their natural conclusion. Let's fucking get this over with. Why are we beating this dead horse already? Like, enough's enough, you know? All right, moving on here. The DOJ, and we kind of touched on this in one of the earlier articles in the episode here, folks, but the DOJ has disbanded a crypto unit, and it alleges the Biden administration used the branch for reckless regulation. Wow, everything's coming out of the wash. The U.S. DOJ is scrapping a unit within the federal agency that focused exclusively on crypto-related investigations. U.S. Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche says in the memo that the agency is ending the unit that now President Trump has asked for the end to the regulatory weaponization against digital assets. The NSET was created in 2021 and was comprised of prosecutors from the DOJ's money laundering and cybercrime units, along with attorneys from other district offices. The unit participated in some of the DOJ's largest crypto cases, including Tornado Cash, a crypto mixer that uses cryptographic smart contracts and ZK proofs to obscure digital asset transaction trails. You know, just because you want to have anonymity and sovereignty, it doesn't necessarily mean you're doing something wrong, right? Like, yes, there is money laundering that's happening. There is illegal stuff that's happening on the blockchain. Sure, absolutely. But just because you want privacy online, which, you know, is completely valid considering the fact that, you know, everybody's spying on you in every way, as we've talked about in previous episodes, this episode, as has happened in the news, you know, Facebook, TikTok, like all this nonsense, like you're getting spied on left and right. It's not, they make it sound like it's so bad or you're such a bad person for wanting privacy in your life, which is just fucking ridiculous. So they make it sound like, oh, just because there's these services out there that people might want to use for privacy, for, you know, no ulterior motive reason, it's not illegal, it's not doing anything bad, you just want privacy, but you must be a criminal because other people, you know, do criminal things with these services. Well, you know what is a really funny fact about this? Did you know what currency is used more than any other currency in the world for money laundering, for criminal operations, for you know, all this illegal shit? Oh, is it the US dollar? It sure is. Think about that one for a second. Look over there while we're doing some shit over here. You know, distraction, 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 distraction. Another bit of news for Canadians here. Canada enforces 25% tariffs on non-CUSMA compliant auto imports from the US. Now again, when Canada is enforcing tariffs on the US, it affects Canadians. When the US is enforcing tariffs on Canada, it affects Americans. People have it backwards. They think it's the other way around. On April 8th, the Canadian government confirmed that retaliatory measures against US auto tariffs will be enforced from April 9th as the trade dispute between the US, Canada, and Mexico intensifies. The Canadian Department of Finance announced the countermeasures earlier this week, and they target non-Canada US-Mexico agreement compliant vehicles imported from the US with a 25% tariff. These countermeasures will remain in place until the US eliminates its tariffs against the Canadian auto sector. The US implemented a series of tariffs on Canada, 25% tariff on Canadian goods and a 10% tariff on energy and potash exports. These tariffs were later adjusted to apply only to non-CUSMA compliant products. On March 12th, a further 25% tariff was imposed on Canadian steel and aluminum products. In a move further escalating trade tensions, a 25% tariff on Canadian automobiles was enacted on April 3rd, directly impacting the auto industry and the over 500,000 Canadians it employs nationwide. Our markets are fucked. Our job market's fucked. Our housing market's fucked. Like, Canada's really struggling. Like, the food banks have record numbers. People are homeless like you wouldn't believe. Like I've seen more people homeless just openly like living on the streets, doing their thing. They're generally harmless. They're generally good people or whatever, but like it's really hard to see and it's hard to look at. And there's not enough supports for them. There's no housing available. Everything's unaffordable. Food is crazy expensive. Fuel's crazy expensive. Like Canada's fucked. The current scope of tariffs is on goods worth over $30 billion. However, the Canadian government says it will increase its scope to about $155 billion worth of imported goods if the U.S. tariffs remain. On April 4th, China announced that it would impose a 34% tariff on all U.S. imports starting from April 10th. In response, Trump asked China to remove the tariff or be hit with another 50% tariff, bringing the total to 104%. The Chinese embassy in the U.S. said that China will not back down. The embassy posted on X, adding that China will fight till the end if the U.S. side is bent on going down the wrong path. This whole trade war shit is just the beginning of a larger scope of war. We're already having war on, 3 fronts? Like, Jesus Christ. And then Canada's fighting with the States. Part of Canada wants to separate. And I mean, I can't blame them. You know, I'm part of the West as well, and the way things are going. Like, the West, Alberta specifically, pays billions of dollars a year to Quebec in equalization payments because Alberta's literally supporting the rest of the country. It's fucking insane. If we stop those equalization payments, like the whole east side of Canada would change their fucking tone real quick. But no, we just give them billions and billions and then they change all these laws, take away our rights, property rights, self-defense rights, firearm rights, and everything else and say, fuck you. You can't have pipelines. You can't do anything else. It's crazy. Like our country's a disaster right now. Now, I'm sure you all have wondered at least at one point, throughout your crypto history, folks, who is Satoshi Nakamoto? Well, Ripple's CTO David Schwartz responds to new Satoshi Nakamoto identity rumors. Now, pay attention because I'm about to drop a bomb on y'all that I've been kind of alluding to for quite a while here, and this is going to blow all of your fucking minds. Well, the crypto community has long gotten used to waves of speculation about who might be behind the Satoshi Nakamoto name. A recent legal move by lawyer James Murphy, known to many online as Meta Lawman, has once again nudged the conversation in unexpected directions, including towards Ripple Chief Technology Officer David Schwartz. Murphy has filed a lawsuit against the U.S. DOJ, or Department of Homeland Security, I should say, pressing for the release of documents that may, according to his argument, shed light on meetings reportedly held between the agency and individuals associated with Bitcoin's early development. Now, Murphy seems to believe that somewhere in those files could lie the missing link that finally attaches a real-world identity to Bitcoin's mystery founder. Well, I'm going to tell you who that real identity is here, and with great certainty, actually, in just a few minutes. As the crypto world caught wind of this, the ripple effect led some enthusiasts to revisit old theories about who Satoshi could be, and once again, Schwartz's name entered the chat. Interesting. It's not David Schwartz, by the way, folks. Given his extensive cryptography background, his role as one of the key architects of the XRP ledger, and his deep involvement in blockchain infrastructure, it is not exactly surprising that his name occasionally pops up in these kinds of conversations, even if he has addressed the idea before. So, David Schwartz has openly said, I'm not Satoshi, several times. He's gone through this. It's just beating a dead horse. It's again one of these distraction things. Look over there. Well, something else is going on. Now, I'm going to show you. I'm not going to show you the whole video or whatever. We're not even going to watch the video. That's not the point. I'm going to get you to watch the video on your own because there's actually a second part to it, and the first one's 45 minutes or whatever. But why are they suppressing the information of people who have receipts, of people who have done the homework? This is just speculation and fucking bullshit. Check this out right here. This is about to blow y'all's mind. So right here, the video's going to start playing, obviously, or whatever, but right here, this is the guy that is Satoshi, and this guy has all the receipts to prove it. But this video only has 4,500 views, even though this guy's 8,000 subscribers. It's being suppressed, and there is a part 2, which again has almost no views. I stumbled upon this randomly a couple of months back when it released, and I'm super lucky about it. And I forgot about it for a while. It took me a while to actually find it again. But I want you to actually pay attention and go to this link right here. Like, I can even maybe drop the link here into X, for example, and into YouTube once the stream's done here. So check out the comments after for that. But the Cubic creator is Satoshi Nakamoto, and his name is Sergey Ivancheglo, CFB. He could be Satoshi. Well, not only he could be, I have never seen such authority and such proof to say that someone is Satoshi. This was one of the craziest deep dives that I've been on in a long time. And I highly, 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 highly suggest you check this out because this is going to change your opinion on a lot of things, folks. This guy is like almost with certainty, I would say like 96% Satoshi Nakamoto. And nobody has ever talked about him before that I've heard. Everyone says it's Sergey Nazarov, or it's Vitalik, or it's David Schwartz, or whoever else that they've been talking about. Who's the other guy that died? I can't remember his name off the top of my head. That was involved in Ripple early on or whatever. It's none of those people, folks, because none of those have any fucking actual proof. This guy has all the proof. You got to watch his video. I can't stress it enough. This is by the Great Crypto Escape. So make sure you check out the Great Crypto Escape on his cubic videos of who the creator of Bitcoin is, because it's going to blow your mind. I can't stress that enough. Let's move on. We got a few more articles today as we run into about an hour-long episode here, folks. All right. So Ripple has issued a big take on tokenization, predicting a 3,000% surge in value. Sounds a little bit more realistic as to what's actually going on here. The crypto company believes that in less than 10 years, the tokenized market will soar from $1 billion industry to tens of trillions. And they're right. They're right. When you start following the breadcrumbs that are out there, you start digging into shit. This is what's going on, folks. XRP is the future. XRP, XDC, and XLM, not financial advice, but if you're not holding those three, at least, and then, some of the other ISO 20022 tokens, HBAR, Algo, Quant, just to name a few, you're going to regret it. That's all I'm saying. Notably, Ripple expects a tokenized asset market to be worth over 30 times or 3,000% its current value, growing from about 600 billion to 18.9 trillion by 2033. And I think it's actually going to be before 2033, probably 2029 or 2030 by the time we see these kind of crazy valuations. For clarity, the tokenized market refers to the digital representation of notable assets like stocks, real estates, art, and more. It involves transforming the aforementioned traditional assets into digital tokens. I guess there's not too much else to talk about here. Sure, we could get into all this stuff, but it's a lot of stuff I touched on my past episodes, right? Essentially, like, this is where the world is going, right? XRP has served as a major cross-border payment system globally, and RLUSD offers stability in the volatile crypto world. Like, this is all true, right? Like, Bank of America is using exclusively Ripple technology, XRP, in 100% of its back-end transactions. Like, Bank of America, folks. Like, this is not front-page news for some reason. Like, nobody's really talking about this. Like, the writing's on the wall. The writing's on the wall. Like, there's nobody should be fudding this at all. It's people that don't do their research. They have no idea what they're talking about. They're like, oh, XRP can never reach that price because market cap and blah, blah, blah. It's all fucking idiots. Anyways, let's move on here. We got a couple more articles today, and the last one's kind of an interesting one. It's a bit more lighthearted, but some interesting Chainlink news here. Chainlink large transactions skyrocket by 178%. Is this a sign of a Link breakout? Well, for many of you, I'm sure you probably are holding Link because it's a super solid project, although it is on the Ethereum blockchain, which kind of sucks. But Link is pretty key in the crypto space, in my opinion. The centralized Oracle platform Chainlink has seen its native token Link surge in whale activity over the last 24 hours. This uptick in large-scale transactions comes amid a broader market uptrend, which has seen the price of Link skyrocket by over 10%. Wicked. However, other developments in the Chainlink ecosystem could help restore investors' confidence and help fuel the price breakout. For instance, an earlier report revealed that an integration between Chainlink and payment giant PayPal, the report claimed that PayPal now allows its US customers to access the Link token. Fantastic. More exposure is always good. This follows an earlier partnership involving Chainlink in the Abu Dhabi global market. Overall, this partnership aims to expand the network's footprint in the UAE and drive further Link adoption. Now, if you don't know, the UAE, Dubai and all that, right? Some of the richest people in the world. They say Elon Musk is the richest guy in the world. I've heard theories, and if you look at some of the videos of their car collections out there, it's absolutely insane. But I've heard theories that, because they don't have to report what they're worth, that there is people in the Middle East worth, trillions of dollars, whereas Elon Musk is worth hundreds of billions. There's people worth like hundreds of trillions possibly. It's hard to say for sure, but something to think about. Last article for tonight. A trader has staked 5 cents worth of Solana for 3,000 years. Here's what it'll be worth in the year 5,138. What a fucking joke. It's just kind of funny. Like I said, it's lighthearted. It's what's going on here? Let me know what you think in the comments, folks. A crypto user has gone very, very long on Solana, staking a very small portion of the token for the next 3,000 years. And some of these numbers we're going to start talking about here, it's really hard to wrap your head around. It's kind of funny. It's kind of cool to think about. It's a thought experiment at best, right? So the unknown user has staked 5 cents worth of Solana in 2023, and it will unlock in the year 5138. Speaking to Cointelegraph, Vincent Liu, Chief Investment Officer at Kronos Research, said the move was likely a symbolic act reflecting a strong belief and conviction in Solana's long-term ecosystem. Solana's a dirty rug platform, folks. There's been a whole bunch of people exiting Solana to go to BNB Chain and XRPL because, Solana's pumped out, what is it, like 3 million rugs or something in the last few months, like year? Like, it's fucking ridiculous. It's impossible to know what the staked SOL will be worth by the time it's unlocked in a few thousand years, but Liu says it would likely be a significant sum. If SOL appreciates just 2 to 5% annually, the compounding over 3,000 years becomes exponential. In any market condition, long-term compounding remains one of the most powerful financial forces. To put it into perspective, 5 cents compounded annually at 3% annual interest rate would already result in over 486 undecillion, which is 486 followed by 36 zeros after 3,115 years. However, the Solana sum would likely be much higher than that, given staking rewards are paid out every 2 or 3 days and then compounded further. Users on X are speculating that the stake could be an attempt at creating generational wealth or a random stunt with no real long-term plan. I mean, what the fuck kind of long-term plan are you going to have for 3,000 years? The chances of us, having this technology still be relevant in 3,000 years is like so slim, considering the fact that, humans have been around for, as they say in a civilization, go back to Gobekli Tepe type of thing, 11,000 years roughly to 13,000 years possibly. But like, hominids have been around for what, 500,000 years or something? Well, only in the last barely 100 years have we had the technological, or 120 years, whatever it is, the technological revolution and the industrial revolution. And really the technology that we've seen come out in the last like 50 years, 40, 50 years has been exponential. In 3,000 years, the shit that we're talking about today is not going to be fucking relevant. They're not even going to be talking about it in the history books, in my opinion. 4 Solana whales recently profited over 200 million in a staking play that began in April 2021 when they staked 1.79 million Solana worth 37 million at the time. Crazy, crazy, crazy stuff. That being said, I'm going to wrap up this episode by once again reminding y'all, check out the XR Players Lounge NFTs. You want to check out the XRPT token, XRP Town. You can find all of the links and information on our website at www.quantzilla.online. From there, you can join our Telegram. From there, we can drop you some links for the XR Players stuff. Join the XR Players Telegram. Get into the community, see what it's all about. Right now, NFTs are minting for 10 XRP, and there's 33% minted, so there's still some room for you to get in on them before they sell out. Some people are minting some rarer ones and asking a lot more money for them. Super cool stuff there. We are building something huge here, folks. And, once people start finding out what we're actually doing, people are going to start aping in hardcore because we're building an ecosystem to accept other tokens, to vet other tokens, to escrow other tokens, create a rug-proof ecosystem of people who support each other, who are in it for the long term, not just, get-rich-quick schemes. And we're building the future of finance. And we're also, essentially planning for our retirement in a way better way than an RRSP, for example. And also make sure you check out MemeSafe if you are running a crypto project at all, because this is definitely something you're going to be interested. You can find that at memesafe.online. Head over to Dex Screener. Make sure you hit that rocket every day, folks. You can hit it once a day. Hit that for Qzilla and XRPT. Helps us out a lot. This is from an old episode here. We're actually at like 620-ish rockets right now. We are flying with momentum, folks. We have stayed pretty stable through all these dips. We're really killing it out there, and we're super proud and happy to bring to the table what we're doing here. And we really would love to all have you come and check out what it's all about. Once again, head over to www.quantzilla.online and see what's happening. And I think that's about it for today, folks. Always do your own research. None of this in today's episode or at all is financial advice. Don't trust what I'm saying. Always verify, check into stuff. In fact, don't believe a damn word that I've told you today. Go research everything I've told you and form your own opinions, because that's really the best way to succeed in the world and in these markets. Y'all take care of yourselves. I appreciate you joining me for this later evening episode. I am doing much better health-wise now. Hopefully it stays better. I'm going to try to be doing 2 to 3 news segments per week. I'm working on some other videos for XRPT and some other stuff in the back end as well there. We are just grinding every day, folks, to bring you a better future, a better crypto ecosystem, and building on the XRPL to make it a space for everybody. Appreciate you all. Once again, have yourselves a great night, and we'll catch you on the flip side. Bless and love. Bless and love.